everyone. So today we are going to take a look at the likelihood of events. So we've been working a lot with probability. You should know at this point that probability can range from 0 to 1 or from 0% to 100%. So it describes how likely something is to occur. So before we do some example problems, I want you to take a look at this graphic here. It just shows us, depending on what the probability is and where it falls in this range from 0% to 100%, this determines whether we classify it as impossible, unlikely, as likely as not, likely, or certain. So if an event has a probability of 0 or 0%, we would say this is impossible. It's never going to happen. If the probability of an event falls somewhere between 0.5% or 0% and 50%, we would say, it could happen, but it's unlikely. An event that has a probability of 50% or 1/2 is as likely as not to occur. For a probability that's bigger than 1/2 but less than 1, or bigger than 50% but less than 100%, we say that is likely to occur. And for an event that has a probability of 100% or 1, we say that's certain. It's definitely going to occur. So let's look at all of these events and classify them on this continuum. So there are 31 days in February. So if you think about the month of February, definitely doesn't have 31 days. It's never going to have 31 days. So the probability of having 31 days in February would be 0%. So this would be an impossible event. Okay, number 2, Tom correctly guesses a number between 1 and 10,000. So let's say I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10,000. I asked Tom to guess it. Could he guess the right number? He could. It's not impossible, but are the chances of him guessing it very good? No. So the probability would most likely be unlikely. Could it happen? Sure, but it's probably not going to. Okay, a coin lands heads up. Now, if you think about a coin, we talked about probability last week. The probability of a coin landing heads up is 1/2 or 50%. So you have two outcomes on a coin, heads or tails, and only one of those outcomes is heads. So the probability of a coin landing on heads is 1/2 or 50%. So that would fall under this category as likely as not. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. Now for number 4 and 5, we have 3 options, either neither likely nor unlikely, likely, or unlikely. So number 4, the probability of randomly selecting a name starting with the letter T from a bowl of 28 names is 14 out of 28. Which of the following describes the likelihood of selecting a name starting with the letter T? Well, if our probability is 14 over 28, if I reduce that, I get 1/2, which would be 50%. Okay, so that would be neither unlikely nor likely. So it's not bigger than 50% where it would be likely. It's not below 50% where it would be unlikely. So it's just right in the middle there, neither unlikely nor likely. Okay, number 5. Nixon desires to win a raffle and entered several times. The probability of randomly selecting a ticket that has 2 ones is 0.21. So 0.21 as a percentage, if you move your decimal point 2 places to the right, that would be 21%. Okay, so if you look at our continuum, 21% would fall below the 50%, so this would be unlikely. Could it happen? Sure, but it's most likely not going to.